Hello! Hello everybody, and welcome back to some more Minecraft. I have been a little bit of a busy bee, um, over the past few days. There's been a lot going on in the background, because I said that I would, take care of a few things over the past few days, and that I did. I went and made sure that, well, basically, I went and farmed a bunch of acacia and a bunch of oak wood. I still need to go through and spend some time and farm up some birch, but you're going to be happy with me. I believe I have finally gotten the whole bridge project to be 100% effective. And yes, I know that's crazy and insane of me, but for the longest time, I will let you know, we were having some issues up and over here. And you know what? I'm gonna quickly sleep before I get phantomed to death, because that's the greatest plague of my existence is a million phantoms non-stop, always causing problems. Um, but no, you'll be happy to know that I have gone through and spent some time and finally got some works in on some plans that are really important to some stuff. And yeah, there's a lot of minecarts over here now. Um, this is effectively the way that I am fixing the problem here. There is about a double chest worth of hopper minecarts right here, so whenever I run the wood farm, I no longer lose stuff right here, as it tries to reload itself in the timer. Hopefully. I say hopefully because I'm not sure if it still is enough. I might need more. There's only about how many entities in there right there? Oh, okay, it's not that many, actually. It's a surprisingly small amount. Only about like 20-ish, actually. Or 20 that it counts, at least. It might be counting incorrectly because those are minecarts. But, yeah, no, so I went through, prepped this up, and we've got a little platform over there for just in the off chance I need more. And then I also went and prepped, effectively the same thing down in the lower receptacle as well. So now, both, not this thing, but the thing that this is attached to all the way down below, both that and that are working at, I believe, 100% effectiveness, where I can unload a couple of thousands of items in there and they will end up sorted out, basically. So you'll notice I actually got lucky and got myself like two full double chests off of the wood farm really easily and was able to put that all in. And by the way, that, my friends, is from a single trip. That is like the best haul we've ever had from that thing, which is crazy to me because, yeah, no, that says a lot about some things. So, what are we doing today? Well, today I wanted to actually do some work on a few little things, and I've actually been compiling up a little bit of a list of the things that we actually have to do that are more like technical related stuff that are important for progression in terms of everything, other than just, you know, the villager happy area that I make that will eventually be my trading hall, you know, that is where all of the Discord members get to go over time, basically. Yeah, that is all good and fancy, but I've there's been a few things that I have had that have been becoming a continual problem for me in this world, and we're gonna be going back to the base, but there's a reason why we're coming over here first, and that is because, look, it takes roughly, I hate to say it, it takes roughly 4 hours from a full load from the wood farm to go all the way over to the outpost, and then I have, and I still haven't even hooked up all of this stuff yet. Like, all of these, I haven't flipped that switch yet, right there, because I don't have a spot for arrows, I don't have a spot for all of this stuff that exists, like, everything that is in all of this stuff, and of course, you know, I open chests that have nothing in them, but, like, all of the things that are in these extra chests, like, I could unload these two right now. I cannot unload the bones, which, you know, the bones are doing bone stuff. I can unload all that stuff right, or I can unload those two right now. I cannot unload the bones. I cannot unload the armor or the arrows and whatnot. And yeah, no, that's becoming or that's not really an issue per se, but like whenever I have to inevitably send loads from both the wood farm and the pumpkin farm, or the bone, pumpkin, and melon farm, I'm going to be sitting there for a full like 8 hours effectively, and that's something that I've kind of realized has been a negative to me, and I've been trying to determine, you know, where the problem is and why I've been, like, you know, slow to work on certain things. Well, it's because stuff like this exists and I'm not doing anything about it. So, in all honesty, the good benefit of this whole area is luckily, I believe, with the way that we've set this area up, this will not be the problem. It's the fact that we do this, where there's a giant line of hoppers that come in from the wood farm, over through all of this mess, and then they just dump themselves into here on their own line. That is, I believe, our current greatest major problem that we have, that is genuinely, like, you know, causing issues for us, because I had a moment there of what the frick was happening in this mess. No, this is our biggest issue, because literally everything from the wood farm comes through into here and takes forever going through a singular dispenser, or sorry, yeah, a singular dropper to make it all the way over to the outpost, which also runs a singular dropper. Do you see the connection that I'm trying to make here? Effectively, what I'm proposing that we do over, you know, a couple of episodes or so is we need to sit and revamp this area, effectively. This area is good, do not get me wrong. It does what it needs to. And that's great. That's wonderful. Stuff like this is annoying to me. I do not like this setup that we have. It is a waste of space. And I think that really, in all honesty, I can do so much better, effectively. Like, all of this stuff that I've gotten here feels very much like wasted space, and that I can try better, basically. So, how are we going to be doing that? Well, first off, I'm proposing we probably drop the floors on these a fair distance, extending this, dropping the flush system lever a fair bit lower as well. And I went and spent a whole bunch of time looking into what can be effectively coined as an overflow system for these, what's it called? For the tree farm up there. And I believe I have a solution. Basically. The system that we have currently is also, let's be honest here, the system that we have up in this whole mess is just that. It's a mess. There's so much in here that is currently wasted space, and of course I failed to do the basic jump that I should be good at doing. But there's so much wasted space with things in here, and like, look at that. That's atrocious that this keeps happening. Like, there's so many items that come through here that just are useless because I never took the time to encase this in any glass or anything. Like, I kind of left. I've been lazy is the point that I've kind of noted. And additionally, this crawl space is atrocious. And it gets even worse whenever you actually make your way into the redstone in that crawl space, which is honestly even worse, to be blunt. Like, the redstone in the crawl space is bad. So what I would like to do, and it's something that I really should have spent some time on in the past, is I kind of want to gut out the tree farm. Like, I want to sit through and I want to gut out this whole system that we've got here that's meant to be this nice little relay system that basically says, oh, you know, a certain amount needs to go into here, and then the rest can overflow into there. I want to get rid of it. I think that is for the best, that I rip this whole system out, basically, because while it's a good system, and it does work, I'm surprised that I'm still crawling over the redstone, actually. Like, using this piston system that we're using right now, and using it to overflow into stuff like that. This is something from a time where I didn't have wood or not wood. Yeah, actually, it is wood. I didn't have wood and I didn't have iron to spend on this. And now I do. So why am I still using this very, very outdated system, effectively, is what I would like to say. So that's one of the main things that I would like to focus on fixing, and also it's bad that is my way of just getting myself out of there. Like, this is ugly. All of this, ugly. Ugly, ugly, ugly. I do not like all of this. I do not think this is nice. It's gross. And yeah, additionally, another thing that I have noticed about all of this, this does not support this fast enough. And part of that is quite literally because of some of the leakages it has. Some of the other parts of it is this isn't going into itself in any meaningful way. We currently have 100% collectivity of all saplings and all apples in here as well, which is bad, I should mention. So effectively what's happening here is everything that we do in this little area is very much wasteful in terms of how we've been doing it. And I would like to effectively cut back on a lot of the wastage that we are having, because I do not think that I should be letting this stand, basically. I think the way that I've been treating this area as the ugly part of the world is a very large detriment to what I'm doing in this game. And the fact that I am unwilling to come over here and effectively make the necessary changes that I need to is part of the problem, basically. Um, like, my unwillingness to come over here and work and fix this has genuinely been a problem that I am noticing with myself after I took a lot of time to reflect from last episode. Because last episode I kind of got into the red of, I realized that, like, I don't really fully know what I should do. So, additionally, alongside this, this storage system is bad. It's the storage system that comes with the original thing, and I modified it by basically putting a lever here, and this is the end of that hopper line we were talking about earlier that exports to the singular spot, which, by the way, hang on, I'm just going to do that real quick, just contribute that to that fund, which goes to the singular dropper that is basically being a mess. Yeah, this is bad. I'm happy to keep this as a buffer system. I'm perfectly happy with that. I think that this is going to be a good addition as a buffer system. I'm happy with it as a buffer system. I think that having this run off of this lever here is a very large negative. I like all the redstone that exists from Razeworks. I'm not going to worry about that. But this is messy. That's messy. All of this whole area, I believe, is a mess. And I think we need to sit through and just clean it up. Now, however, there is a few other things on the list to do that I would like to bring up to everybody's attention to just make sure that everybody is kind of understanding what we're going through so far. And we're going to take a stop at the outpost here, despite it going to technically want to send me along. And we're going to also try and fix the stuff that's over here, basically. And for those not aware, this is the other issue going on. You see how many chests are here? This thing is set up to support this many items. This thing is not set up to export that many items. It has a singular dropper right here, which is effectively launching everything. And by the way, it doesn't even fully launch everything because of the way that the system is working and the fact that some stuff gets stuck in there over time because, you know, whatnot. And eventually there will be large enough loads coming in that the fact that this is split from two sides just is going to cause a backup that I'm just not dealing with effectively. So one of the things we're going to do before the end of the episode is I'm going to swap this out for a hopefully double-sided dropper system that is going to effectively double the pace. I would like to inevitably work towards maybe setting up all of these lines with droppers now that I also have figured out a way how to. The issue with that is, though, is under the current system that I know how to, we would have to drop the water, or the water line through this all the way down to there, which I'm willing to do, effectively. It's something that needs to be done, so I'm in the boat of maybe we do it. And in doing so, that would make this work effectively so much quicker that we then show back up towards the issue that I currently believe to be the struggle that I'm, you know, going to continuously have almost no matter what I do, because of hoppers. Hoppers are the slowest thing in the game, as we all know. They are not quick in any way, shape, or form. And this system right here has the major flaws that I've been working on with hoppers, which is effectively I need to shove as many hopper minecarts in here so that we can collect as many items coming from there as fast as possible and store them so that this thing can process them And then we need to do it again up there for every single refresh in the collective. Which is... it's bad, but it's a solution that is the only real solution within the game. And I hate saying that because that feels contrived to me. I'm realizing how bad hopper speed is, effectively, because of this system. And because of the fact that we have a farm that is so ginormous, so gigantic, that we are just struggling with it, effectively. Like, we have farms that can spew out thousands of items per hour. And if we'd like them to all be able to go in to this, well, that's just, like, not possible, effectively. This thing needs to be a dedicated version of the strongest item support imaginable. And at the same time, it also needs to be able to clear as many items as it receives that fast. And that is the struggle that I am finding continuously. I will never make a version of that dropper system up there that's good until I accept that I need roughly about 20 freaking hoppers running into, or 20 droppers shooting out items all at once, basically. And that's the only way to get there, is effectively every single one of these systems needs to have a dedicated dropper for every single, or not for every single item, but for, like, for every 9 items, because each one of these has a 9 item slot. For every 9 items that goes in to this system, there needs to be a new dropper, effectively, that can spew out items relatively as quickly as those come in. And that is the major problem we are running into. That items need to be sorted out so undeniably quickly that we are effectively running into the wall of the game's capabilities of exporting items. Also, I realize I need more than just this, so we're gonna quickly head back up, and I'm going to get us some more redstone items. But yeah, no, like, this system is great. It works wonders. Like, I'm very much proud of the collection as is. Like I said, though, the problem is just becoming a thing of, do I actually have enough stuff going on in the collection fast enough, basically? Like, is there enough droppers running through the collection to effectively keep up with its breakneck pace that it needs to have? And also, this is where we're going to get into a little side tangent. I've found a system that works great as part of what we're trying to do to actually help mitigate those issues. And for some of you, that's a huge surprise, because this is something that I've actually developed recently as part of this little scramble that I've been dealing with. And it's part of the whole big problem that's kind of becoming what this world secretly has, like, held inside of it. The good news is as part of that work into this scramble, I've found a system that I believe will help us work with that. And it works towards the observers, actually, that we have currently running this. And it's a system that I'd like to bring into all of these items over here, and that is something that basically works as, a clock that is way quicker for dispensing items, basically, than, like anything else. All of these are great at their dispenser speeds. That's fine. But the thing that is really the issue is still the hopper. Hoppers just are that much of a struggle for us, to the point of where we just need to develop a system for that. At least for the bridge project, though, which is what I'm mainly trying to talk about as one of the biggest slowdowns that we currently have in the world, I have a solution for it with, you know, some of the dropper systems that I've made, which actually go faster than the comparator clock system we currently use, and, get this, by the way, are also tileable. And that was something that I was really trying to work into, was making something that is a tileable version of this, because it's become quite really the big issue of this world. Just nothing is tileable. Also, I need these. We're going to use them, and we're going to basically build on a pseudo-restricted thing, because that's how confident I am in this new system. Note block. We need literally 2 of these. Boom, boom. There we go. That's that. Observer. Boom, boom. We need 4 of these. Boom. And then we have the rest of it in our inventory already, which is crazy. But yeah, we already have the rest of our fix to this entire crumbled system in our inventory. And that just makes me happy. Well, I did not mean to flush away the redstone, but you know what? Hang on. Boom, boom. There we go. You do not know how nice that felt to do. So, let's... Why is that there? Why has that been there, actually? That genuinely worries me a little bit, that has been here. Or been there. Oh well, looks fine. So, guess what? We're gonna continue working on fixing this. And quite literally, I believe it uses almost the exact same footprint as well, which is the, well, footprint other than the fact that it's tileable, I should say. But it does quite literally use relatively a really, really, really just tiny, tiny, tiny little footprint for us. And that's what makes it really nice. So we're going to do this. And the good news is I believe this actually replaces those, so I didn't need that. I forgot to bring the polished deep slate that I need. But I have to give credit where credit is due. I was watching some more RaiseWorks videos, and that's where I saw this system, but his way of doing it doesn't go, I guess, as far into what I had to do for this, because we don't have sticky pistons yet. That is currently the major struggle in this world, is where is my sticky piston? And that made me remember from way back in the day when I was just getting started with redstone. I always had the question of, okay, well, what's the real use of this then, in terms of, say, like, you know, things in survival where slime balls are really, really, really hard to get. And I had that thought process, and I sat with it, and I struggled. I struggled for a while earlier today. And I sat and developed basically a version of this which uses gravity blocks, which, for those unawares, gravity blocks are truly the way that you can cheat sticky pistons from ever needing to exist, at least in basically survival redstone in your worlds. If you want to do piston doors and stuff like that, obviously you need you need to run through and do, you know, all of your fun jazz that you're doing with sticky pistons. But for your general farm in survival redstone, you don't need sticky pistons, in all honesty. They're a benefit, don't get me wrong, and you could already have guessed how that works. And the main reason is because this is a sticky piston. I know this doesn't look like a sticky piston. In fact, that's actually just a normal piston right there. That does the exact same thing as a sticky piston. And the funny thing is all this does is it takes this little clock that we've done here and adds it over to here. Literally, this system right here, this little 3x3 cube that we've got here, is the new dropper clocks that we use. This is the new dropper clock we use, for everybody curious. This is the addition until I get sticky pistons, where I take the two clock pieces that would be right here, with this one being shoved into place to start the clock, and we just shunt it over a little bit. If I'm not using a dispenser here, I put a note block right here. The note block updates this thing so that it actually does its job. This is effectively all it is. This single-handedly, I believe, will take our speed problems that we've been having and roughly, I think, 2.5 to 3.5 it. Just because the fact that not only are these clocks faster than the comparator clock we use, but it also is doubly as efficient now because we're multitasking the sides of these. We're multitasking them effectively, which is how we get where we're getting all of this chaos and stuff. So all we should need to do is effectively go in, take a few of these out because we will no longer need them. They literally are unnecessary to what we're doing. We go in like this, and then I go in right here, and I set that right there, and I fix that up. We put a little ice block here in a minute, and this is all that we need to do. I'm not kidding. This is the entire change that needs to happen over here. Other than if we find out that this is still too slow. But so let me showcase it for you guys real quick here with that. And we should see items start working, flowing in. Why is stuff... Oh, that's... Wait. Oh! Interesting. Okay. Huh. I would have figured that that would have cleared that. Because this system works for when there's a note block right there. Interesting. Okay. The plot thickens. I do need to develop this a little bit more. I didn't test this in particular. That's why we're seeing what we're seeing here. I didn't test this part in particular. So yeah, my bad. Oops. How do I fix you? That's a big problem, actually. Well, first off, let's take the items out. Because clearly that's not going to work. And you can see how our sticky piston works, by the way, by me doing that. And now I just need to figure out how to get... I mean... Could always just cheat a little bit. Could always just cheat a little bit. In fact, we're going to cheat a little bit. Because I know that this works with the note block. But I'm not going to worry about that, per se. We're just going to... Well, no, I don't like this because this is hacky. I don't like the hackiness that I've been doing. I'm getting lazy. I'm getting lazy again, and that is a problem that I am having, is that I get lazy. Okay, so how do we do this? We could turn these over towards here. We could put a little riser right there. So that's a soul sand block. We block this off. And then, yeah, we use the soul sand block to basically get these started. And that runs everything we need effectively out until we're, you know, up that little block. And then guess what? We've already solved everything else because, well, we already know how to do a water stream. So, okay. So remove this is what I'm realizing. And we place our remove you because you're not how we want you. And I just go boop, and that goes there. And then I go boop, put a note block in right there. And then we rebuild the thing that I destroyed while I was just trying to figure stuff out, basically. And we go boop, and then we go boop, and then I really need to organize my inventory just that tiny bit better. And then there we go. Now I want everybody to watch this just so we're aware. See? It does shoot them out. It does shoot them into this thing. It did shoot them where we wanted them. I want no complaints toward anything I'm doing, and even under the current system, it technically did work. Everything did just technically showcase as working. So, we've got the system in place. All it is really just a tiny fix of what currently exists now. And that is all you really need, is just a little bit of trial and error, a little bit of willingness to accept when I've made a mistake like this, and just the willingness to try to improve the problem. And that is truly a way of life, I will mention, for those curious. And it's one that I need to do better at doing for myself as well. Alright, there we go. Dropper. Right there. I will return this block in right there. That's not the block that I meant. I'll return that block right there. And then I will return the slabs right into here. And let's go grab an ice block to replace this with. In fact, let's just do that real quick. We'll just pull that open. And that'll be that. Yep. Cool, cool, cool. Let's go grab our ice block. And we'll also go grab the soul sand that we need there. And then, yeah. That should be that area fixed. And then we get to start working on the redo for that area, which is going to be major. So major, in fact, I'm probably going to effectively change how that whole area looks. It's that bad. Yeah, no. I like what we've done. I do not think that I should continue building it that way though. And that's how I'm gonna say it until we see it. But this system is at least good because this system will work as our major. It now technically works where I can go sit through, and at least the back half has been cut down by a major percentage, basically. Like the back painful part of this, and I need to go grab my ice. The most painful part of this has been sitting and waiting through everything happening. That's bad. I do not appreciate the amount of sit and wait that I tend to just do over there. And yeah. Alright, we've got soul sand, we've got the ice block. Let's go do that real quick. And then, you know what, while I'm over here, I'm also going to grab I'm going to grab my ender chest, because my ender chest is probably going to work as my best friend here for a while, in terms of saving me some back and forth stuff on this. Because really, in all honesty, I should be using it, but I haven't been using it, and that's a me problem, to be honest. I think that the fact that I'm not using it as much as I should is a major, major, major letdown onto what I am doing within this world. So, yeah, no. I'll admit, I have been a bit qualifying myself for this. I need to do better. I am accepting this fact. I understand this fact. I hope you all understand that as well. I mean, there's so many things that I'm just leaving undone in this world. I mean, this, not done yet. I need to just sit down and decorate it. This area over here, not done yet, because I keep thinking deep down inside that it's not at a point where I'm happy with it, which is why I keep letting it be this way. Which, alright, fair enough. Now do it. Now do the fix. If I'm struggling with finding the rationale to do the fix, then why am I not just doing the fix? Like, either the fix doesn't need to happen, or it needs to happen. And that's kind of what I've just needed to sit and realize is either the fix needed to happen, or the fix didn't need to happen. And, you know, it's needed to happen. I also have now realized why I was going to remove this, because also that kind of looks cool as a pipe, but the other reason is because it lets me fill that in, and fill that in, and then that should fix the issue. But if it doesn't, we can check, see for any bubbles. There we go. I'm like, and there we go. Now that should, like I said, effectively double the output per each one of these. And then the real thing is just making sure that there's enough items that go in that both sides get activated, which is what we're now going to start working on with all of this whole fun chaos that we're working on over here. And where did that land? It landed all the way over here. So, and this is where I wish that I had actually remembered to pull it up real quick. In fact, you know what? Once we get over here, I am going to quickly do my wonderful little quick flick of everything happening. But so, I'm going to be removing all of these sorters, which is crazy because I spent like an entire 2 episodes on it doing all that. And we're going to do something a bit crazy, I will admit. But in the end, it is what is necessary. So, there's this hopper line that goes right through all of this under here, like we said, that we can view right down in here. This is a great little thing that we have going for us right now. I will admit that. Not, however, in a clean way. It's bad. Give me a second while I pull it up for me. And I will try to show you guys as well. Whoop-de-doop-de-doo. Do I have it? Yeah, that's going to be annoying to show you guys. But, let me see here real quick. Do-do-do-do-do. Should. Okay, well, it's going to be off center. How do I show it to you guys so it's not off center? That's the real problem. You know what? Here we go. Solution located. I just push it into the center. Okay, so now I can transition this over for you guys. So this is one of my schematics that I have made, which is a nice little thing that just tells me how to build the thing. This is a sectional view of what we are doing within the world, basically, which is going to be a system which basically works by reading all of the... Actually, I can show you here. So all of the items go in through this hopper input. We sort out the ones that can be composted. It goes down into a double chest system, like what we have currently in the world. But reading from this first double chest, or we can even read it from a hopper if we want to flip this around and basically, you know, do it the other way around. Other than the fact, or if we want to, you know, try and set that up, that is something that can be done. You just put a hopper here and just have a single chest running. No, there's a way to do it. My brain is missing it right now, but there's a way. You could also add an extra row. That's something else you can do that would work for this as well. Anyways, I digress. So all of the items that we want to have composted come into here and fill up this system. When the double chests get full, this one will get read by a comparator, which will slowly power up the dust until we have it at a point which is basically set to say, hey, whoa, 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 this is getting way too full. Let's try emptying some of the stuff here into a composter, and then we can hopper that into whatever system we're using. That's great. This effectively works then as a system, which also gives us effective overflow protection on any item we want. We then also have the added system over here, which is our new flush system, which really works with the same thing. In fact, if you understand my ramblings in here, we've got the up piston, we've got the sand, we've got the two observers, we've got the redstone, we've got the note block, we've got the dropper, we've got the water. Like, literally, I just built the thing that I show that we're doing here. All that's different is up here, we have a nice little locking system that uses dust and a repeater chain to read off of a target block and a torch to basically lock all these hoppers to send it down into that area. That's all it is effectively we use this little gapping to help us decide, hey, some things are getting a bit full, maybe we should empty into a composter some of this stuff. And then the rest of this, we just send into here. The nicety is this little chunk of the system that we've designed also works great for the factory. Because what we do is effectively we take the system that we currently have in the factory, which basically is 6 double chests in a row, and we stick a comparator on the top hopper that connects to this double chest, run it down this same dust chain like we are doing here, run a repeater line over to it and say, hey, you know, maybe you should let some of those out into the crafters. And that is why the entire system in the collection so far has had so much space around this crafting thing, because I've known that eventually we're going to have to do something like this I just didn't think to connect it to things other than this. So, yeah, that's where all of this comes forth and, showcases itself. That's why all of this is important for what we're doing. Let me get this off your guys' screen. And let's get back into the game world real quick here because, yeah, very important that we do that. The game just wanted to close out on me for a second there. And, great. I've got invisible mouse. Yay! Hang on. See if I can't fix this, for a minute. Whoop-de-doop-de-woo. Nah, I won't. It's okay. We're almost at the end of the episode anyways. So, on that map, you may have seen that it's like a 14 by 17 area that we need to dig out. Well, we've got the hopper input line right here. We just need to go through and effectively dig it out. Put it out going in this direction and just accept the fact that, like, some of this is going to look a little bit weird. And you know what? In all honesty, that's perfectly fine. That is perfectly fine and dandy. I'm going to be honest, since this whole series of episodes is going to be about me realizing my mistakes and no longer being lazy about them, it's time that we sit through, and I'm at least going to dig out the tunnel today. I might not dig out the full thing, but I'm at least going to dig out a start to the tunnel from here, where we're going to start letting this go down. We'll keep these in as a buffer system. We will expand this way, and God, it's sad to do that, but we just kind of need to just remove a bunch of crap from here and just fix it effectively. Now, the good thing is, God, I hate not having my mouse be viewable to me. The good thing is stuff like this, we can move, we can shift as we dig things through. It'll come out into relatively here. That's perfectly fine. We can happily sit and see this stuff come out into here. I will build the structure around this to make sure that things look nice over here. I can sit here and do that. So, I hope that everybody is, I guess, fine more with the concept of me, just having realized that the mistake happens sometimes. Like, mistakes do happen. It's something that we all run into, problems like this, where, we just don't enjoy something going on within, the progress we're working on. God, this is so ugly. I just can't wait to get rid of this. I'm so ready to turn this entire little system that we've got going on here off, because we can run the same system, but with a crafter, by the way, to turn it into a crafting version of that, and bada bing, bada boom, we run into the same situation where now things are dispensing, or the bones that come in whenever they run into overflow, we just dispense them as extra bone meal for us. Everything just slowly adds up to effectively a system that works better than anything that I've originally built, and I'm happy I just spent the time to sit and figure it out, almost. I am going to leave it running that way, at least while we do this. But, yeah, no. This whole system is going to become effectively where we run down towards, our future design. God, I hate that there's just a random empty chasm right here that just is entirely useless for no reason. And that makes me so just upset with how I've been acting in here. Like, good God. Why did I do that? like, genuinely, what compelled me to do that? This is just bad in certain aspects. Like, all of this stuff that I've done here is just got so much bad stuff in it. Like, this is me just having the growing pains, I guess, of getting a big world. Like, I want everybody to know this is truly, like, the biggest world I've ever played in for myself, you know? Like, just in general, like, I've done the most in this world. This is my forever Minecraft world now, basically. And I like that to the aspect that we've got, you know. It's just also to the fact of, like, well, this is not working well, to put it bluntly. So, let me just quickly, I mean, you know what, I will end the episode here with this tunnel at least started, because that is what that little hopper line right there goes over to our dispenser system that we're working with, and is going to be the main topic of what we're trying to fix anyways. So yeah, I can sit here, pull all of this out, and we will just get digging next episode. I think everybody is perfectly fine and happy with me saying that now. So yeah, thank you all so much for watching. I know this episode has been a little bit negative towards myself, but with good reason and with good rationale. I hope we all enjoy the future of this world that I'm going to try and work towards, with just being open to accept the fact that sometimes I need to accept that I have done something wrong, basically. So, thank you all so much for watching. I hope you all are supportive about this to me in the comments and whatnot, and I hope you all are, you know, accepting that some of these things in the world need to change, and I need to fix some stuff, and we will continue on in the next episode once I can start digging into all of this. Have a good one, everybody. Bye-bye.